Have you ever noticed this particular pattern when somebody starts to overthink something? It always begins as you're just thinking about something, and then you keep thinking about it again and again and again. At some point, you know that you're already overthinking this thing. And not just that, you start to feel anxious about your thought, about the thing you are thinking about. And suddenly, your heart starts to race, pant, the chest feels tight, and you start to think that something terrible is about to happen. That is a cycle called overthinking, anxiety, and panic cycle. A lot of people are trapped in it unknowingly. They don't know what is happening. They call it a spiritual attack. They call it heart attack. They have visited the cardiology. They've done a lot of things. They've read a lot of things on Google. But I'm going to explain these things from different perspectives as someone in mental health. So, what is overthinking? Overthinking is when your mind becomes stuck in a loop of repetitive thought. You're thinking about it again and again. It's like you're not yet settled with that thought. You have not thought it through completely. And so the pattern, the cycle continues. In fact, you replay conversations, you imagine the worst case scenarios, and you start to ask, what if it is not like this? Okay, what if it's like this? What if it goes this way? What if they asked me this? And in psychology, it is called rumination. It's part of the things that fuels anxiety and depression. For example, somebody can begin to ask himself, what if I fail the interview? Okay, when I fail the interview, what will now happen to me next? And after that, what's the next thing? And you keep thinking about it. You come back to, okay, if I don't answer it this way, imagine I answer it this other way. And overthinking is mostly mental, but there's no way it will not create emotional stress. And another thing is when anxiety has now come in, when it is no longer overthinking, because the brain cannot differentiate between the danger that you imagine and the danger that is real, that it doesn't. So when you repeatedly think about threats, you repeatedly think about danger, your brain activates the stress response. Yes, and this creates anxiety. Anxiety is usually a feeling of tension, unease, or dread about something that might happen. So, from a clinical perspective, persistent anxiety can eventually develop into general anxiety disorder, and the symptoms can be racing thoughts, restlessness, difficulty in concentrating, feeling of even physical tension. Person might be having palpitation, the heart rate can increase, the person can even physically be sweating uncontrollably. So, when does anxiety now escalate into panic? If anxiety becomes overwhelming, it can trigger a panic attack. Because a panic attack is usually sudden, a surging surge of intense fear. Let me say this: fear is a natural response to threat. Fear is part of human. Fear is, it's just a natural thing. When you see something that is dreadful, you are afraid. But this one is a sudden surge of intense, deep fear that the person may even think that, oh, there is no way out. I may even die now. Now. That is panic. And the symptoms can be rapid heartbeat, chest tightness, dizziness, sweating. The person could be feeling as if he can no longer breathe and is going to die at any time, any moment from now. And many people think they're having heart attack. In fact, a lot of people think that they will never survive that episode. But what they are experiencing is the body's extreme flight or fight response. And in many cultures, especially in Nigeria, the African context, we often misunderstood it, and they will often say to the person, don't worry, it's a spiritual problem. Or we can even tell the person that the person is overreacting and just need to pray harder, and that's all. But the thing about mental health struggles or mental health problems is that they are usually not from one single cause. Yeah, it can be spiritual, but they are usually like complex. They are usually having multiple etiologies. Could be biological. The biological will interact with social, with psychological. All of them have their role to play. So usually an interaction between the mind, the brain, the environment, and even the spiritual life of this person we're talking about. And from the faith perspective, faith is a very powerful tool for a human being because it helps to calm your mind. It's a powerful anchor for your mind. Yes. And one of the most profound teaching on anxiety that I've seen, okay, there are some others, but one of them is Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 to 8, which talk about the fact that we should not allow worry to consume us. That is overthinking. We should bring everything to God in prayer. Instead of overthinking, you put it in prayer to God. And also practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your mind from worry to what to praise, to things that you should actually focus on. Yes. And also, God's peace will guard your heart and mind. So peace will come and guard your mind and heart. It will shield you from panic. It will shield you from anxiety. That is what the peace of God will do. So faith does not replace your mental health care. It strengthens how you approach it. It strengthens how you deal with it. It strengthens how you remain resilient in the face of whatever it is that you're going through. So here are the things that you can do to break free from this cycle. So here are some 3 practical steps you can take whenever you find yourself in that cycle. The first thing is, when you catch yourself overthinking, you stop immediately. I'm not saying that overthinking will not come, but whenever you find out that this is what you are doing again, you stop it immediately. Interrupt it. Interrupt it. The Bible says that you should turn them into prayers to God. You can change that thought, change it into a positive thought. You can now think that positive thought through, because once you start that thought and you set yourself in a danger zone, your body will carry on the message and begin to act on that message, that negative message you are thinking about. That is when anxiety comes in. So you interrupt that thought, gently redirect it into a positive thought, into a prayer of surrender to God. Because in prayer, you just put it in the hand of God, surrender it to God, and it's off your neck. The second thing is to calm your body. So you can use some techniques which I'm going to describe later: breathing techniques, grounding techniques, relaxation techniques. All those things you can use them to reduce physical anxiety. The Bible talks about gratitude. You start to list the good, the wonderful, the beautiful things that has happened in your life, that God has done for you. Yes, or you can start to sing songs of worship. You can give thanks in prayer, you can give thanks in worship and in praise. The third thing you want to do is now to focus your mind on beautiful things. It's to now, how to prevent this, how to prevent overthinking. You cannot be thinking about positive things and you not get yourself into overthinking. No. It's usually the wrong thing that will lead you into this cycle. And verse 8 already gave us solution. Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 talks about whatever things are true, whatever things are beautiful, whatever things are of good report. There are like 8 things there that you will use to sieve your thoughts. That, okay, is my thought good? Is it true? Is it a beautiful report? Is it something that gives God glory? You sieve all of them. If they meet all those criteria, then you go ahead and think about them. In fact, you can put some things that are like visual, like words written in papers or cards around you. So that beautiful thoughts, kind thoughts, thoughts that glorify God, beautiful reports. So you put them there so that whenever your mind is wandering, your thoughts are going everywhere. You are calling your thoughts to attention. You are telling your mind, these are the things that I want to be thinking about. After some times, you will no longer need all those things. all those things that you chart, or papers, the words that you put on the wall. But at the time that you are having this challenge, you have to put them there. You have to do everything. You have to do everything. Look for all means to get your thoughts back to shape. You can only pray that God help me take this anxiety away. There is a role you are playing in this cycle, and there is something you need to do. There are things that you need to stop. There are steps that you need to take, and you can do them. So if this video has helped you to understand the difference between panic, anxiety, and overthinking, I want you to like this video, and I want you to comment. I would like you to share with others and subscribe to my channel for more conversation like this. Understanding the mind is one of the first steps towards healing. I'm here to help you understand how your mind works. Thank you, and see you another time. Bye bye.